Good morning. It is Wednesday, November 13th. I am struggling to get my brain to stay focused today. But today's energy is a little on the spicy side. There's a lot of crossroads energy going on today. We have the moon is still in Aries. That is putting our emotional and subconscious self in the realm of Marcy, my brain not functioning. Mars in Leo. And also Mars in Leo is being ruled by the sun in Scorpio. So like there's some spicy ego, look at me type of energy going on from a subconscious standpoint. However, we have Venus in conjunct, a quincunx with Mars. So this is that kind of battle, this crossroads moment between the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, feminine and masculine has nothing to do with what is between your legs. It is simply energy. Feminine is receptive, masculine is active. We all have both of them in our energy in our charts, okay? That feminine energy, that Venus is in Capricorn, so it is kind of in a state of being stoic and finding its footing, it's finding its boundaries, it is enforcing those boundaries. And because Saturn, the ruling planet of Capricorn, is sitting still right now to station direct on Friday, there's no movement happening here. Like the feminine energy is not going to budge right now. It is leaning on its intuition, it's standing its ground, it's enforcing its boundaries, and it's not budging, okay? And then we've got the Mars, the masculine energy in Leo, and the moon being in Mars ruled Aries. That masculine energy is going to be a bit feisty. It's going to be a bit on the emotional side. And when masculine energy tends to get emotional, that emotion tends to lean towards anger, big ego, loud, just not real great energy, okay? And then the moon will also make an inconjunct to the sun, which is ruling Mars right now. So there's like this crossroads. That inconjunct is an indication of having to let go of one thing in order to go to a different direction. So it's very like cut people off type of energy. This is literally like the masculine telling the feminine to fuck right off. That's really what's going on here. The moon will also make a square to Pluto late tonight, which can bring up some pretty intense arguments and conflicts as well. Overall, today is just ugh. But also, it's very crossroads. Like there are decisions that will be made today that are going to continue to set up as things unfold throughout the week. Just before I get into the cards here, a reminder, I do personal readings. I have solar return readings, lunar return readings, shadow work readings. I do tarot readings. I do natal chart readings. I also have one that I call it what the fuck is going on with my life reading, which is trying to figure out what it is that you're struggling with in your astrology and trying to help you guide you through that as well. So keep that in mind. My Cash App is, I believe, on my site. It might be. I'll put it on my profile here if it's not already there. So check that out. But we have a lot of spicy stuff coming up in the very near future. I do have $15 3-card tarot readings and $20 full moon mini readings as well. And this full moon that is on Friday is a spicy one. So if you want to get a jump start on that, hit me up on that as well. So cards for the day. The energy, oddly enough, is 10 of Cups, right? So this is that like stoic energy, right? This is that Venus standing her ground. Like this is, you're not going to mess with my energy type of thing going on here. Like Venus is in an area where she is standing her ground and nobody's going to screw that up. She's finding her happiness, her stability, and nobody's going to come along and mess with that, okay? But what we're focusing on is the 5 of Wands. So there's the conflict. There's a fight against this stability, this emotional stability that the feminine energy is finding right now. So really focus on who's fighting against you, trying to be happy, trying to be stable. Who is it that's pushing back on you? Really pay attention to that. So the Five of Wands a lot of times shows up as like little petty arguments, like things that just make you feel uncomfortable. It'll a lot of times show up as somebody dismissing you when you're trying to like stand your ground. It's those little arguments, it's those little conflicts that are really can turn into something much bigger later on down the road, okay? What we're avoiding is the Tower, okay? The universe is going to take care of the Tower moment for us here in the next few days, weeks, months, right? Sometimes we need to let the universe do that because we as human beings, we are going to screw it up. We always screw it up. We screw everything up. That's what we do. Okay, so really today, just make sure that you're standing your ground. You've got those good, strong boundaries. You are listening to your intuition. You are maintaining those emotional boundaries, right? And pay attention to who's fighting against you doing that, right? But don't blow it up. Like, let's avoid the drama today. Just walking away from it is all you really need to do at this point. Because again, the universe is going to take care of the karma that is coming for those that are fighting against you right now, okay? Bottom of the deck is Five of Pentacles. So there is this like sadness, left out in the cold type of energy that's driving this. You may be finding your emotional boundaries and trusting your intuition because you're feeling outcast for something. Maybe you're feeling like you don't belong anywhere, but you're starting to embrace that type of energy going on here. And that is okay. You don't have to fit in with the crowd, okay? I know Pluto is about to move into Aquarius, so we've got a really messed up idea of what Aquarius is, right? So we've got a lot of people right now that are on this whole high horse of I can be whoever I want. Yes, you can be whoever you want, but Aquarius energy is trying to get the crowd on the same page, right? Whereas when we think of Aquarius energy, it's I always have to be different. I always have to be different. So if you've been in a space where maybe you feel like you don't fit in with the crowd, but you've been trying to, that's a little hard to deal with, right? I know me personally, pretty much anywhere I go, I'm always like on that outskirts of it. Like, it's not that people don't like me. I get along with just about everybody, but I'm never like part of the group, right? I'm always just like that acquaintance of the group, right? And that's really a hard thing to deal with, especially when you're surrounded by people that everybody embraces everybody and they all love each other, right? But there's a purpose for that. So really make sure that you are listening to your intuition. Make sure that you are standing your ground and you're maintaining those boundaries and you're not letting them down just so that you can be part of the group, just to be accepted. Right now, things are in a major shift. And if you're kind of cast out, that's because you're like ahead of the game basically on this shift, okay? Clarifiers for our Ten of Cups. Let's see. They're flying everywhere. Hold on one second. All right, Ace of Pentacles and the Empress. I actually really love this, okay? And I think that's what that is. A lot of us are really standing our ground, especially those that are accepting their feminine energy. Again, men have feminine energy too. We are listening to that intuition that is keeping us in this like more stable space despite what's going on around us, right? And it's because we know that this new beginning is coming, this new beginning of abundance is coming. We are aware that despite the fact that things are ugly, and quite honestly, they're going to stay ugly for a while, individually, if you're in a good space now, you're going to be in a good space throughout, right? You're going to be in a space of, quite honestly, leadership. As we move forward, if you're in a good space now. That's why I have been pushing shadow work. Oops, I accidentally hit the pause button there. I've been pushing shadow work, and the entirety of the spiritual community has kind of been pushing shadow work for a while. because of this change that is coming, you need to make sure that you're in a good space so that you can navigate the things coming up in a much better way, in a much more stable way, and so that you can help those that are not doing the work now navigate that as well. Clarifiers for our Five of Wands, please. We have Temperance and one more. Oh, a couple more, a lot more. Saying the same thing. All right, we have Temperance. This is that turning the ugly into something positive, right? Temperance is Sagittarius. Sagittarius sits between that scary, intense, traumatic energy of Scorpio and the let's do something with this energy of Capricorn, right? So Temperance is that in between where we're learning how to transmute that Scorpio energy into productive Capricorn energy, right? So you might be getting these pushbacks from people. You might be facing a lot of conflict for standing your ground, but it's because you have learned what you need to learn to be able to actually do something. Whereas you got a lot of other people that are still stuck in that like scorpionic energy where they haven't dealt with their stuff. They're projecting on you. And most of the time when somebody is pushing back on you standing your ground, it's because they haven't dealt with something themselves. So they are projecting their insecurities or whatever on you, okay? We also have Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune and Queen of Pentacles, right? We're standing our ground and we're paying attention to who is pushing back on us standing our ground because we know that wheel is turning. Your intuition is telling you that we are moving into a stable place. Things are changing. So embrace that change and let go of the people who are trying to keep you stuck where you're at, okay? We also have Queen of Cups on the bottom. Have your empathy as well. Listen to your intuition. We sometimes, yes, I know right now things are hard and there's a lot of things that people are saying that's really going against values and morals that you may have, but there's nothing wrong with putting yourself in somebody else's shoes sometimes. There is nothing wrong with understanding where somebody else comes from. That is my biggest strength and weakness, is both that I can understand why a shitty person is a shitty person. My problem is the boundaries part of that. That's where we're at right now, is learning that boundaries part of it. I can understand that maybe you had a rough life that has, led to you being in this position because you don't feel comfortable in your skin, you don't feel safe being who you are, whatever it is. And because of that, you're projecting onto people that do feel comfortable in their skin, that are okay with being who they are in this world, right? I tell people all the time, life is hard. Let people do what they do, okay? There is no reason to make fun of something for someone for whatever it is they enjoy, their hobbies, sports, crafts, games, whatever. Let people enjoy what they enjoy. Let people be who they are. Life is hard enough without all of that, okay? So really make sure that you have that empathy when folks are pushing back on you. You don't have to fight back. You really don't. You can really just say, okay, whatever you say, and walk away. Clarifiers on the Tower. We have the Star and Six of Pentacles. Okay. Again, don't create your own tower today. This is very much giving me this energy of being strong in your convictions, standing your ground, and letting those who are going to fight against you for doing so do what they do. Don't allow it to tear you down. Don't allow it to blow things up in your life, because we have this Star and Six of Pentacles here. They're just not there yet. Okay, they still have healing to do, and they're probably going to need your help to do that healing, right? The universe is going to crumble everything for them. You don't need to do it, right? And when that happens, they're going to be coming to you, asking you for help, right? This is where that compassion of the Queen of Cups comes in, and Page of Cups on the bottom as well. That's where this comes in, is understanding that They're just not there yet, but they will be. And we've got to understand why they're not there. Okay. It's understanding the reason behind their behavior, but not excusing their behavior because of that reason.